Donald Trump. It's just me, Paula Poundstone. I was just playing with the cats. In language arts class, as they called it in elementary school, they taught us that when writing, you begin a paragraph with a topic sentence. When my fourth grade teacher, Mrs. Greenblatt, who never liked me, red-penned topic sentence, ? Over top of the first sentence I had written in a paragraph in a report, I got a green pen and wrote back to her, define topic. And that's what I want to talk to you about. I saw your speech at the Angel Families event at the White House, which was supposed to honor families of people who had been tragically killed by undocumented immigrants. It was sad, of course, but you found lots of opportunities to talk about yourself, the press, Biden, Kamala Harris, fake polls, and left-wing lunatics. You told your audience that you could cure cancer, and people's response would be, you should have done it earlier. Don't lose any sleep over that. You don't know how to figure out how to cure cancer. And you've made substantial cuts in our funding for cancer research. So you dodged a bullet there, huh? Boy, it would never occur to me to speak at like a memorial for somebody and talk about how difficult my job is. Betty seemed nice. What a terrible loss. I'll tell you what, though. I fly home from working a theater on a Sunday. I haven't even unpacked before I have to start working on my podcast. You invited some of the parents of the victims to give speeches at the podium as you stood beside them. I could feel their sadness right through the screen I was watching on. And you found just the right words, I think, when you said, they say time helps, but I've seen some people and not helping that much time. You turned to a parent seated in the audience and said, they say time heals all wounds, but it's not. You feel better now or the same? You know you gotta feel a little bit better. Donald, you were born into this world to facilitate grief and loss groups. You actually launched into your famous verbal balm. You gotta and then you stopped yourself. But you were just about to tell those grieving people that they had to let it go, weren't you? Did you come up doing Toastmasters in Queens? One of the mothers who spoke said, I think that a lot of people feel like that President Trump is maybe different than the version I've gotten to know. Which sounds like she knows about your poll numbers. I don't know if that's what prompted you to then talk about prices coming down during your presidency and Democrats getting 3, 4, 5, 6, and even 7 ballots. Neither of which is true, but you were trying to get the buckboard back behind the horse. Honestly, if I had listened to your speech blindfolded, I might not have known what the event was about.